let's look at the actual vote margin too, because I think he's done some great work there. Wow, that's from 9,000 to
12,000.
To 12,000. That's some improvement.
So he's closed the gap.
He has.
And if you're John Mahama, this should be a good one for you.
Yeah.
So not a bad one. Not a bad one.
I see a bit more also in this is a Ahafo. Tano North. Tano North results have come in. Again, we see Akufadu has won it. In Tano North, let's see the trend. Again, it's a stronghold.
But let's see the trend in 2016.
Let's see
61.5, 61.8 this time around. Let's see John Mahama's performance in 2016. 37.4. Today is what? 37.5. Same result.
Yeah.
Same result.
I mean,
same result.
What we are seeing is Akufadu is winning in places he's supposed to win.
Exactly.
But the margins have fluctuated in terms of for both gentlemen. There is no particular trend emerging, except to say they are winning in places in Volta, in Ashanti. They are winning in places they're supposed to win. But we've seen, as the parties have said, some constituencies have in fact flipped. NDC have flipped some. MPP has flipped some. We have to do a net analysis of who has flipped more.
Yeah.
Okay, and then that boils down to, in these places you flipped, what was the total registered voters there? Because then that's going to answer your national tally.
Exactly. But, you know, the reason why the percentages become very important, you know, I mean, because you're also looking at the number of votes you get, the amount of votes you get, you know, the percentage of votes you get and all of that. But if you look at the percentages, why it becomes important is at the end of it all, what we have done with our trend analysis over the last, 6 elections is to look at the percentages that both parties get. And based on these percentages, we have said whenever the NDC is won the national election, they have to perform in a certain way. So the percentages become very important. The numbers are very important, but the percentages are more important.
Okay. Winston, we have our Parliamentary 2020 map also filling up for us tonight. We've already pre-installed our software with the names of the candidates, etc. So it's easy for us to put it there to check. And this is Eastern Region, and this is Suhum.
Yeah.
So,
Asante. Asante is the man who beat Opare Ansah.
Yes. And you know when he beat Opare Ansah, people said, goodness me, this is going to be, it's a risk. It's a risk because Opare Ansah was so formidable. And then you knock him off. And can you trust that he can deliver you that seat?
Let's see Opare Ansah's performance.
Right?
2016.
So Opare Ansah's performance in 2016, he was at 55 parliamentary, right? It was at 55%.
63%.
Percentage-wise, he's gone.
Let's look at Nanado's performance in this constituency.
Nanado's performance in this constituency?
In 2020. I want to see his performance in 2020.
Same year, right?
Yes, 2020. Let's see. He performs better than Nanado.
Let's do this again. Parliamentary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just by 1,000 votes.
1,000 votes, yeah.
Just about 1,000 votes. So, formidable. Good
Very
decision
formidable.
to hold the primary and, of course, back him to win.
So clearly you're seeing a situation where Opare Ansah, as has been the trend, if you stay in Parliament for a very long time and if you're contested all the time, during your constituency primaries, it gets to a point in time where the people are getting fed up with you and they start, agitating. And so over time, it shows in the votes that you get.
Yeah.
And once there's a new candidate, that margin of victory is enormous. And I've talked about the second D situation. We've heard of happenings in the Skadoketen constituency. We'll be going back there to find out what's happening. I gave the instance of the Ahanta West constituency where in 2012, John Fia lost it. When the MPP came with a new candidate in 2016, the margin increased again. So that's how it works out if you're using this for a long period.
Congratulations to you, Kojo Asante, for pulling this off. One of the new faces from the MPP, wanted Lachiase. Kofi Marfo, who, by the way, I don't know yet, but of course, clearly he's won it for the party. The question you ask is important. How well did he do for his presidential candidate?
Exactly.
It's always very important to ask that question this year. Presidential candidate, 16,500. Parliamentary candidate is doing
14,000.
So in this particular constituency, Nanado is more popular.
More popular, yes. So in effect, in this constituency, we can then infer and say that Nanado more or less won the election for him.
For him.
Yeah. So Nanado is the one who based on his appeal, helped him to win the election.
So this Bright Rokubobe wins it, right?
He wins it.
Wins it for the MPP.
He'll be coming
and
back
this
to
is Herman Loa.
Let me look at the 2012 parliamentary results. Because 2012 parliamentary results in this constituency, yes, the NDC had it.
NDC had it,
yes.
So they switched, right, over time.
Yeah, they switched.
And he's kept it. She's kept it for them again.
Yeah, he's kept it for them.
She's
so
kept
good.
it for them again.
That's good. That's good.
That's good. Okay, I want to quickly expand this, and so because to see more parliamentary sheets coming in for us. I want to go to Bono, Ashanti region. Sometimes this is as interesting as it should be.
Yeah, this is German North.
This is German North.
And Siaka Stephen lost.
Yeah. So this is Frederick Ahanka. Oh, Siaka Stevens is lost there. I want to take you live now to Fomena. Why is Fomena interesting? Because
there's an independent candidate now. The incumbent member of parliament is contesting as an independent candidate. And we're told he won. Okay, let's find out.
Nanaya Ojima is standing by with the results from the Fomena constituency, which thing we need to be analyzing this a lot when it comes.
Yes, we have.
Nanaya Ojima, what are we learning from the constituency in Fomena, where we know that the incumbent member of parliament on the ticket of the MPP...
So we are still in Fomena, the college?
Had gone. Go on, tell us.
So we are still...
Nanaya Ojima, we are live with you. You can talk to us about this.
All right, so we are still in the Fomena constituency. And at the moment, I am at the coalition in here. Not long ago, the parliament left the coalition center and they have been complaining about have deliberately been
Okay. We're having issues there with this connection, and Fomena is always interesting because of the peculiar scenario that had played out this year with the incumbent member of parliament. I want to go to 2016 when he was a candidate in Fomena. You're talking about an area where the MPP had always held. This is in the Ashanti region.
Yes, so Fomena has been a stronghold of the NPP, and you're expecting them. There you go. Expecting, oh, not this one. Okay, this one. Yeah, there you have it. Andrew Esiama.
Yeah.
14,823, 72.7% of the votes.
Yeah, I mean, if you put his trend and compare it to how the percentage terms, what he did, I look at it and I'm saying he is the best performing parliamentary candidate by percentage winning margin for the MPP ever.
Yeah.
So he's formidable.
Very.
He's formidable. And so we're waiting to see what the result says because, sorry, why am I saying what I just said? Let me focus you. Let me focus you here.
Yeah.
And then focus on his performance. This is, the line here is what I'm trying to focus on here for you. If you look at the performances, this is the highest anybody had managed to get.
Yeah.
For that particular area. So you look at that and say, this is formidable. So can he hurt the chances of the NDC there? It doesn't seem so. We'll tell you why shortly. But Anaya is joining us again with the latest on it. Anaya, what do we know from Fomena? Hello, Nanaya.
Yeah, hello, Evan.
Yes, thanks for staying up with us. I know it's been tough, but I'm curious to know the story from Fomena tonight.
So presently, the new Patriotic Party candidate for the Fomena constituency, Philip Okori Asante, and his supporters are rejecting the parliamentary results that are taken in here at the Fomena constituency. The EC and other officials have been trying their best to police the results, but according to the parliamentary candidates for the NPP, there have been a lot of discrepancies in the results that are trickling in. So they are rejecting it, and they want the EC to look at all the issues that they are raising before they go ahead to declare the results. They are claiming that more than 5,000 votes have been counted for the incumbent member of parliament, Andrew Esiama, who has decided to go as an independent candidate in the constituency. As I am speaking to you now, there are no lights in the auditorium. We do not know how the lights went out, but lights outside the auditorium are on. There are lots of supporters of the NDC parliamentary candidate outside the collation center. There are a lot of armed men as well, preventing them from entering. They are from outside. They are shouting, screaming, and calling on the EC to annul the results that are here, that are trickling in. I can say they are chanting, and they are not happy. The supporters of Mr. Philip Okoye-Asante are not happy. And intermittently, Mr. Okoye-Asante goes out to update them on what is happening inside. He has been telling them his concerns, and whenever he goes out and comes back in, you hear the supporters out there chanting. But Mr. Asiama has stayed put with his supporters. According to them, they have a lot of faith in the EC, and they trust the security on the ground to ensure that there is peace and calm in the communal constituency. So, the supporters out here are claiming that they will stay throughout the process. So morning they came early, and they came with the NPP chairman for the communal constituency, Mr. Kofi MC, and they've been here since.
Do we have any provisional results at all for Fomena?
The results are still being collated. At the moment, the screens and everything in the auditorium where the polling station and the collation center is are off. So at the moment, I cannot give you any results that have been certified by the ETS.
Okay. Thank you. Keep an eye on this. The minute we hear it, the minute you know better, please come back to us, because Fomena is very interesting, obviously, indeed, because of the story with Ms. Henry.
This particular one. But Evans, you see, the bit about rejecting results. Now, you have agents. So if at the polling station you have any challenges with a result, raise it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where you can have a recount. You don't get to the collation center. At the collation center, what they do is to add polling station results.
Yeah.
So we say, for instance, there's a polling station in Taka known as Aponchinkakra polling station. Then you have Aponchinkakra, you have, Airport Hills, Chapel Hill or something. You add these polling stations and say, these are the results. At that point in time, the only option available to you is to say, let's add the figures again. You cannot count them. You cannot count them again. So for Mr. Efurima, so for Philip in the Fomena constituency, if this is the case, if that's the situation that is being reported, and I believe Nanaya Ajima, then it means he has himself to blame.
Well, he does. I mean, and then this is sort of the education, and this is the same scenario we saw play out in Adenta, right?
Exactly.
In Adenta, where it appeared.
That's Medina, actually.
Sorry, forgive me, that's Medina. Yeah. When it appeared that the NDC may be winning, the MPP parliamentary chairman had gone in there to ask for a certain recount, wrong forum. I mean, definitely, and then sparks a confusion. Okay, so presidential race. That is a national picture. In fact, I counted up, I think 16.
Looks like another one in the west, in the Volta region.
Had come, yeah. Looks like one in the Volta region had come again.
Okay.
Let's look at it. What I'm going to do, gentlemen, it's so that you have this here to look at, because this gives you the picture, right? Let me leave it there. Let's see if we can focus in to Volta. Oh, there's not that. We done Pando already. We done, I think it's the same.
Okay, so Pando is now confirmed now.
Yeah, it's now confirmed. It used to be projected, now confirmed. But we have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then there's 18.
Okay, so?
There's 18 constituencies.
More constituencies.
So this is 18 out, this picture here is 18 out of 274. 275, by the way. So nothing to get excited about yet. But trust me, the parties know where they are.
The parties know where they are.
Yeah.
The parties know where they are. And It's interesting, Evans, because talking about the parties knowing where they are, we've seen the NPP talking about Karaga, Savelugu, they're talking about Myang, they're talking about Daboya and all of those things. And if you are the NPP, you're looking at just winning 3 or so of the NDC's 10 to 12, 15 of the NDC's constituencies, and then you're back into, leading or having a majority in there. And so you see the parties talking about areas which they are very conversant with, and they know how they've performed and they know what they expect from these areas. It's still very early.
Very early.
But by now, the parties know what the situation is.
By now, the parties should be appreciating their smoothness level, as they say, in terms of what central region, which place is this?
Same constituency.
We looked at that already.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is parliamentary. We're waiting for this to happen. Let's see where we are projecting for here. This is Mavis Boydu.
Yes. We've talked about that already.
Let's go back to the presidential and see if we have some additional results coming in that we could share with you tonight. Nothing really has changed, has it? Because I see here, there.
Yes, this is what where I wanted us to go. And I am interested in the parliamentary. Let me see the parliamentary first.
I doubt if we have the parliamentary. We should have
the parliamentary. Yes, let's look at the parliamentary. We don't have the parliamentary yet?
We don't have the parliamentary yet.
Okay, we'll get parliamentary. But this
we'll get our input that shortly for you.
This is N.S. Deborah's constituency. N.S. Deborah of old, he left parliament in 2012. But so Akufadu, and again, turnout is 82%.
Yeah.
And he polls 61.8% of the votes, 25,563 in this year's election to John Mahama's 15,371. Let's look at the 2016 margins.
2016.
And it helps us to...
This is presidential.
Presidential. Okay. So, in 2016, you have Akufadu polling 20,876. That's 61.5 to John Mahama's 12,000. You're looking at a margin of about 8,000. And John Mahama had 37.4. Let's get to 2020. And let's see. So, he increases slightly here, 61.8%.
Yeah. And this is still in the Tunnel North.
Tunnel North.
Constituency.
Okay.
We're waiting for some new results.
Yes, I think we have some new results. So
let's see if we could share with you here. Well, I see Northern region.
Yeah.
I see Northern region, and I see Nanton.
There you have it.
Nanton is, for presidential over the years, they have been very consistent with their voting for the NDC presidential candidate, right? Mm-hmm. But they have not been that consistent in voting for parliamentary.
Yeah.
Right? So incumbent is MPP. He's retained it. No, well, Akufadu has it. Sorry. So, interesting. They flipped it.
It was skirt and blouse.
Yeah. But in presidential, yes, Akufadu has flipped it.
He's flipped it, yes.
Okay. So that is interesting. So if you're listening to us on Joy 99.7 FM, we can tell you, confirmed, that in Nanton, Akufadu wins the Nanton constituency by 51.9%, getting 15,057 votes, as against John Dramani Mahama's 44.3%. That is 12,828 in Nanton.
And if you're John Mahama, you certainly would not be a happy man, because you've reduced from 50% to 44%.
That is such a significant,
very, very significant
drop.
If you're John Mahama, you certainly wouldn't be happy with the performance in this constituency.
But the story is that he allowed Nanado to flip a seat that he won in 2016. I mean, that, and for me, the thing about it is, forgive me, in 2016 was John Mahama's poorest performance yet. And yet, he won Nanton.
Yes.
And in 2020, when you were expecting him to recover, right? You're expecting to recover. That's when he actually loses Nanton.
Exactly. So, Evans, that brings me to few things about the campaign. What was John Mahama's concentration in this year's campaign? Now, John Mahama spent a lot of time campaigning in the Ashanti, Greater Accra, Western regions. He kept going to the Ashanti region because John Mahama wanted to flip particularly the Galamsey constituencies.
And he promised the Galamsey constituencies that once he's going to free grant pardons
to those who are
who have been imprisoned for engaging in illegal mining.
Illegal mining, yeah. So he spends time in these areas. He spends time in the southern Ghana, southern part of the country, campaigning. And it's like a Donald Trump thinking that Georgia is traditionally Republican. Arizona, traditionally Republican. And so, well, don't worry, I will win. Let me try and flip some Democratic states, and it happens that it works against him. It's early days, but I'm saying Dr. Bawumia, who's also from the northern part of the country, from the old northern region, now from the northeast region. And it's important we discuss that factor. Well, as more results come in, we'll save that conversation until we have more results from the northern part. But as you can see, you have Dr. Bawumia, for instance, who was stationed in that region. He was stationed in the region, and he was campaigning there consistently, aggressively. And it is beginning to tell, because now we've seen Tripoli flipping, and you've seen
Nanton also flipping. Now, forgive me, this is important, again, for the Bawumia factor, right? And you're seeing here a case where John Mahama wins his seat in 2016, Nanton, right?
Yeah.
Nanado comes and flips it in 2020. I mean, you look at this and say, well, is there a trend beginning to develop? The only trend you could talk about is the impact of the vice presidential candidate in this area. But Winston, you made a point about, so if you're just joining us, Nanton just came in, Nanado had won it, and had won it wow, okay, so this is another thing. This is another analytical point I wanted to bring. I need to go back to Nanton, by the way, because this has struck me.
I think there's more coming. There's more results coming.
Yeah, but forgive me, I need to go back to Nanton.
We will get back to Nanton. No problem.
Do you see the new one? I'll come to that. Forgive me, Winston.
Yes, let's
give
go
me a
back to
second.
Nanton.
Give me a second here. Something struck me about the trend, Winston. This is the first time the MPP is winning presidential in Nanton.
Exactly. This is the first time.
That for me is a big deal.
It is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
And if you are the NPP, you'll be telling yourself, well, I have done something right. And you begin to ask yourself, would this be the beginning of great things in the northern region?
Okay.
And if you are the NPP, finally, before you continue, Evans, if you're the NPP, you ask yourself, what worked the magic? Whoever worked the magic should be on the party's ticket the next time.
You are speaking in parables. but I isolated for you the presidential winning trend in Nanton since 1996. It's NDC. It's a green wall.
Yeah.
It's a green wall. NDC has always won Nanton presidential. For the very first time in the history of that constituency, an MPP presidential candidate has won Nanton tonight in 2020. And this is Nana Akufadu. Winston is actually suggesting, and he's been at pains to point this out, that this is the Bawumia effect at play. Delivering votes to his boss.
Exactly.
Right? Delivering votes to his boss.
But I'm told there's Ewutu Senya coming in.
Ewutu Senya is interesting. Let's go to Central Region.
Do we have it? There you have it.
We have
Cape Coast South coming in. Okay, let's go to Cape Coast South. I think we have Cape Coast South. Okay. There you have it.
Do we have Ewutu Senya?
No, let's go to Cape Coast first.
Okay.
Cape Coast South. Okay.
Cape Coast South. That is Akufadu winning it.
Winning it. He won it in the 2016 elections. I think He won it. He won it in the 2016 elections.
20,000 votes, 51%.
Yeah.
Tonight,
what do you want to see?
Tonight he's won it again. He hasn't really changed his vote margin.
No.
He hasn't really changed actual votes.
Yeah. So one of the things you want to look at in this particular constituency, the parliamentary. Now, this is where Kweku Reketega. Now, even though Akufadu won it in the...
Let's see if you have the parliamentary.
Let's see if you have the parliamentary.
We don't have it yet. We'll populate this and tell the story there. But let's come back to the presidential.
So this is Akufadu. Now, this is 2020 performance. And again, the turnout is 82%. 82%. And it's showing you a trend. Okay? So you have 82% of the total votes, of total registered voters going out there to vote. Well, let's see. Let's see. We're told that Ewutu Senya is ready. I think Ewutu Senya West is what
this is Central Region.
About, okay.
Central Region.
Okay.
We don't have any other in Central Region.
Any other? I think I saw Trifu Atimokwa. Okay, I think I saw Trifu Atimokwa. Okay. So this is it. This is it.
Okay, so we're doing Cape Coast South.
Yes, Cape Coast South.
I mean, Cape Coast South trend tells us a story of skirt and blouse in 2016.
Yeah.
Where they voted presidential MPP. So it appears Nana Akufadu is very popular in Cape Coast South.
Yeah.
But they like their parliamentary candidate.
Exactly.
Okay, so we want to see whether he keeps this.
Whether he won it this time around or the NPP's flipped it. But the NPP didn't mention the Cape Coast South constituency as one of the constituencies which they won. So I'm thinking, since they didn't mention it, then maybe Ikoku Ketegan
He's held it.
May have held it.
He's held it.
He's held it. Looking,
but extractively, Akufadu doesn't change his winning margin. I want to look at the valid votes from 2016 to see if there's increase in voters there. This is 40,000, right?
41,000.
So there were more voters, there were more valid votes in 2016 than there were this year.
Yeah.
And I guess isn't that possibly explains the story there of the key points there when it comes to that. I mean, this is interesting there. Now, if you look at the constituencies with huge margins, and the reason why this is important is that it comes down to numbers at the end. If you want to win, the argument is that you need to focus on Dom Kwabenya. You sweep huge chunk, you're getting close. If you sweep Adenta, you're getting close. Okay, so I want to stay in Central. We have we have 2020. We have a bit more votes, a bit more.
Trifu Atimokwa is in.
Oh, we have Ewutu Senya West here.
Okay, let's see it.
Oh, okay. This is a big one. This is a big one.
It is.
So we were waiting for this. We heard it, but it's been confirmed.
It's been confirmed, Evans. George Anda, Nini George Anda, would not be returning to Parliament on January 7, 2021, because his constituents have voted for, Gisela Tete Agbotwi,
who is the sister
of Hannah Tete.
This is, they say revenge is the meal best served cold. You knock off my sister in 2016, and I was here doing analysis when this result came in, one of the big ones, because Hannah Tete was such a formidable force. Georgiana comes in, knocks her off. Sister comes and says, okay, I'll avenge my sister, right?
Yeah.
And she's done it.
She's done it. So
and the margin is slim.
Slim.
Kofi, give us the margin right now because we need to play with this.
Now, this margin, you're looking at a margin of about 2,800
Let's do this,
votes.
Let's play with this. Let's play with this.
Let's do this. Let's do this. We'll just do it here immediately. So we'll do 32,708. And we'll do 29,832. So this is very simple. We do 8. We'll bring in here 7. Okay, this is 6.
Okay.
So it's 2,000. So it's 2,876. 2,876.
So 2,876.
It looks like a similar margin in 2016.
Oh, let's go and check that. By the way, if you're just joining us on radio and you've heard the rumors out there that George Anda, the Deputy Communications Minister, has lost his seat in Ewutu Senya West, it's true. We can confirm for you tonight that the sister of Hannah Tete, the man George Anda, knocked off, displaced, dethroned, use whatever word you want to choose, in 2016, has come back and has avenged her sister, and has taken back the seat. Listen, this is a significant performance for her. I didn't see her as a formidable force. Why? Because I was considering her track record in politics, right? You want to go back to experience. But then again, George Anda came onto the scene, didn't have that, and see, yes, Winston.
So as you can see, the winning margin, 4.6%, really 4.5%. But let's look at 4.5%.
4.5%.
That's the winning margin.
Okay, so stay with us here. Stay with us. I want to return to this, but I want to see how John Jana performed in 2016. In parliamentary. In 2016, George Anda.
I told you, similar margin. Now, look at it. This is 28,867. So George Anda actually beat Hannah Tete with 3,203 votes. 3,203 votes. And you have the sister, well, we didn't get that up to that margin, but 2,876 votes. And George Anda is out of parliament.
He's out of parliament. He's out of parliament. He managed 52%, 28,000 votes then. This year, he's lost it.
Well.
He improved slightly, though.
Yeah, he improves, but...
I mean, in terms of actual numbers.
Actual numbers.
Percentage terms, he loses. It was 52.
Yes, and he
drops
to 40.
He's dropped his percentage terms.
Yes.
And no wonder he's lost it.
Exactly.
This is a big one. This is a big one for Giselle. I know a lot of people who will be calling her right now to say congratulations, and she deserves it.
She deserves it. She's done
She deserves it.
She's done well.
Because over time, Mr. Anda grew into the game, right? And he became...
But Evans,
I want to stay there. I want to stay there, babe. Yeah, let's go to Chifu Atimokwa.
Yes, and this is one of the constituencies the NDC talked about also as having won. And there you have it. So this is the Chifu Atimokwa constituency. Vondi David, 21,416 votes, representing 50.8% of valid votes, to the NPP's 19,594. You have
1,822. I mean, so this is one of those marginal areas, correct? I mean, that you definitely pay attention to.
That's the 2016 trends, and you probably would have a better understanding of it. What was the situation in 2016? Yes, the MPP won that particular one, and they won it. Let me just...
Well, we don't have that, but we can tell the story of right now.
Right now.
I mean, Vondi TD David has won it.
So that would take me to one thing, Evans, because when the NPP addressed the press, they disputed Abra Sebu Kwaman Kese.
Which is Felix
Kwachifu. And they said he's lost it.
Yeah.
Now, they made general statements about the other constituencies and said they should be flip-flopping and laughing, like they did in 2016, that they were in a comfortable lead. It is beginning to look like the constituencies the NDC said they had won are indeed true. So far, we've seen Chifu Atimokwa, we've seen German North falling, we've seen Ewutu Senya West also falling to the NDC. Yeah. We're waiting, and Adenta looks like haven't fallen. Gakpo was telling us that the margin now is 13,000, and you're waiting, for about some 50
polling stations to go.
It doesn't look like this could
huge constituency. And by the way, you mentioned Adenta is one of those.
Yes, 151,003 registered voters. 151,003 registered
voters.
Huge. Very huge constituency.
You expect that in this constituency to take time to get everything declared because of the share margins in there. I mean, so of course, so this is the picture beginning to emerge. The biggest surprise for me yet, the biggest one for me yet is George Anda.
Well, yes, it is George Anda. It is George Anda. But, some may have seen it coming. Some may have expected him.
You saw it coming?
I didn't see it coming.
I didn't see it coming.
To be very honest, I didn't see it.
The reason why I didn't see it coming was I was looking at the opponent he was coming up against. A question you need to ask yourself is, did Hannah Tete's influence and experience help her sister.
Well, what we are told is that Gisela is actually the operations person. It was the operation person of Hannah Tete's campaign. Now, if she was the operations person in that particular campaign, then you could say that the problem, based on her victory, and I'm guessing here, the problem could be her sister at that time, or maybe at the time George Anda is showing up for the first time. You know, when you're coming into a race for the first time, it's a totally different scenario. Once you are in the game, once you become a member of parliament, your actions are measured by the people, and they would punish you or reward you based on your actions. I'm sure that in the coming hours, we'll be doing the post-mortem analysis and asking the questions, what went against George Anda? You
know what they say? They are beginning to fall. We will look at it a bit more. We'll look at it a bit more. Let's look at the... we did Nanton for Parliament.
Yes, we did Nanton for presidency.
For presidency. Okay, I think we have it. We have it in here.
And let's look at the parliamentary. The parliamentary is ready too.
And the biggest takeaway for Nanton, I mean, this is the presidential.
Yeah.
Let's do the parliamentary now. The biggest takeaway for Nanton presidential. This is the first time MPP is winning at the presidential level.
Exactly, the first time.
First time in its history.
And they have a 98% voter turnout.
That's huge.
Wow.
Just not 98, 98.6. That's almost impossible. But here's the thing. Doesn't that confirm the analysis of the turnout nationally, reflecting whether you are retaining or you're changing?
I told you at 100 constituencies, I'll be able to reasonably infer that it is looking like that.
Because the closer you are to 100, the more you are likely to retain the individual. Right? I mean, the president. But at the parliament, Mohammed Tafairu.
Is it Tufairu?
Tufairu.
Tufairu, yeah.
Well,
he's won.
We should get Gisela Tete on the telephone lines. Let's speak to her. Let's give her congratulations for a fantastic job done in the Wutusenya West. We need to talk to her. We need to get her reaction to what has happened there. I'm pretty sure she's worked hard for this because you're coming up against George Anda, who had become very strong in the constituency. We need to talk to her. I want to also hear Mohammed Tufairu also, who's picked up Nanton together with his candidate there. Now, this is not the first time. Well, another first in Nanton. First time they have voted for the MPP in both presidential and parliamentary.
Yeah, so we're seeing first here.
Yeah.
We're seeing first. First time the NPP wins in that constituency when it comes to presidential elections. And first time that you have, you don't have a skirt and blouse, you have
pure.
Skirt and skirt, pure.
Skirt and skirt, I mean, pure voting.
Pure voting.
Okay, so let's go back to the presidential map and see what is filling up for us in there. Hopefully we have more of the results coming in and filling up with the blue and the green playing. Okay, here we go. Let's look at the results, where we stand now. This is where we stand now. This number sounds very familiar. This is where MPP is predicting to end.
52.7% this year.
They're predicting to end here, and they're predicting John Mahama will end slightly lower than this. Yeah. I mean, but remember that this is just out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 out of 20. Out of 20 constituencies, 20 constituencies just in 275. So we are still not there yet. We haven't even begun to scratch the surface.
No, we haven't.
No, so don't get excited yet. But this is the race as it stands between the two gentlemen. Very exciting race beginning to unfold tonight. Listen, no trends evolving yet. Don't go calling. It's still very tight yet. But we are seeing, I think the only thing that you could say, and as we've been analyzing, is the Baumia impact.
Yes, the Baumia impact.
We've seen it in Tripoli.
Yes, and we've
seen it in Nanton, where historically, when you begin to do things like Amewu is doing in Hohoi, something really seismic must have been happening.
Yes.
And the Nanton experience for me, is the biggest indication yet that something major must have been going on underground or overtly, whatever it is, in these Savannah, northern, northeast regions for this particular result to happen. This doesn't happen. It's not a fluke.
Not at all, Evans. And, when it's time for elections, the reason why, we're talking about go out there and vote, but also watch this carefully. Since Bawumia came onto the scene in 2008, not well known, a banker, deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana, brought into politics. Prior to the death of Alhaji Aliyu Mahama, he was always on the campaign trail with Dr. Bawumia. Even in 2012, he used to go around campaigning with Dr. Bawumia. So you had a situation where Dr. Bawumia, now, coming up. But in 2012, after the election petition, the famous "You and I were not there," it actually created a hero status for Dr. Bawumia. He didn't rest. He went to the northern part of the country, stayed there, and campaigned. Yeah. And on Sunday night, we're doing the analysis and we're talking about, let's bring back that analysis. We're talking about how the NPP has been appreciating in the northern region. And if that trend continues, it is going to make the election a bit difficult for the NDC.
Let's go to the northern region.
Yes.
And by the way, we're isolating the constituencies in the northern region so we can let it stand alone because they didn't used to be there before. Let's do the northern region here.
Good.
And you see the Winston is saying, pay attention to this as it climbs.
This is 2008.
Yeah?
So watch it.
And this is Bawumia's entrance into the game.
And it's important. It's important. We do one of two things. So this is in 1996. By 2000, it's going down. 2004, still, it increases. But 2008, Bawumia comes in. It goes to 38.1%.
Yeah.
By 2012, it's 38.8%. And then it jumps to 41.3%.
Quite significantly.
And so while I was doing my analysis, one of the things I realized was that, look, if you had to put together the old northern region, you see that from 2000, the NPP was increasing its percentage points in the old northern region. And it was becoming only a matter of time. See, this is the thing about elections. If you're appreciating over a period, and we say the momentum is with you, as you said on Sunday, but we're waiting to see whether that momentum, as we found, because in some of the instances, the momentum was with the NDC, and they lost out.
They lost it, yeah.
They lost that momentum. They didn't follow through it. But this is a situation where Bawumia consistently has been helping the NPP to increase in the old northern region. One of the things I want to see is the Savannah region. You brought it, because, look, Savannah, when John Mahama came, looks good for the NDC. Now, we want to find out, because now the results are coming in. The NPP says they're winning Savannah.
They won Damongo, they claim. They won Damongo, they claim other places, and then they won in the place.
And so you want to wait for the results to come and find out if indeed they've won, the Savannah region. If they have, and you're John Mahama, you should be super worried and say, no.
See what happened in Savannah the year Bawumia enters the play. MPP scores his highest winning margin yet in Savannah. The year in which Bawumia enters the game.
Yeah.
Highest. Of course, there was a dip.
Then John Mahama also enters in 2012.
Yeah, absolutely. John Mahama also enters because Savannah is his home region.
Here he was there, but he was as a running mate, vice presidential candidate. But in 2012, you see that they come out in their numbers, vote for him, and they did the same for him in 2016. However, we're still waiting for the Savannah results. We don't want to be too sure yet.
Northeast.
Well,
and Northeast is where you see Bawumia's biggest strength, biggest impact. Because I don't need to say anything when you look at the graph, right? I don't need to. You start with this huge losing margin in 1996, and you keep climbing. The year Bawumia enters, you have your highest MPP.
Yes.
MPP, the blue line is MPP, green line is NDC. MPP scores his highest margin of defeat, if there's anything like that.
Margin of defeat.
Highest margin of defeat yet. In other words, maybe that may mean a big number of defeat. But what I mean to say, that they lose, but the biggest appreciation.
Yes, appreciation in their votes.
The biggest appreciation in their votes yet was in 2008 when Bawumia steps in. Next year, There's another huge jump. As Nanado will say, boom.
Yeah, tell me boom.
Yeah, tell me boom. And they get 44%. And then something really historic happens. I pointed out on Sunday, for me, I haven't seen this before. It hasn't never happened before. If somebody has seen it, tell me. This is a stronghold of the NDC. That, in the final analysis of 2016, has been won. A region, not a constituency, has been won by the opposing party that was an underdog in that place.
Exactly. And you see, and that's why on Sunday I talked about the Bawumia factor.
This is like Volta region.
Yes.
In 1996,
like Volta region.
And Volta region.
Yeah.
And then by 2016, MPP has won Volta region. Just think about it.
And that's the point I'm making.
That is the power of Bawumia we are talking about here.
That's it. And you see, a lot of soft things might have worked in this election, Evans. And I think it's, if we come to the Northeast region, now, you know when Nalerugu was made the capital of the Northeast region, one of the things that people said was, okay, so why are you making Nalerugu? It's not even a district capital, the regional capital, for instance.
Yes.
Now, appeal to traditional authority is very important in every election. Make them happy, you're on course. Now, the creation of new region is a soft thing. It's not your hardcore development that you say, oh, okay, so I brought this particular developmental project to your area, look at it and vote for me. But you've said, we wanted a region, we've created a new region for you, and we've created a region that Nairi says, I want my town to be the regional capital. His town is the regional capital. Look, and if you're Bawumia, and you go back to that particular constituency, you're going to be winning. And I am surprised, for instance, because I've just been told, I'm getting indication that in the Wale constituency,
his own home constituency,
there were concerns about the NPP's parliamentary candidate. She's a woman contesting, and she comes from a home comprising NDC and NPP members, and there were one or two issues even in her home. So there was the feeling that, Hajia may not win. Bawumia spent the whole period there, and he's worked that magic. We're told also that it is and they knew when they were leaving the northern region, the 5 regions of the north, that the Upper East region was not going to reward the NPP so much. They knew when they were leaving. They knew that Upper West will be rewarding Northern, Northeast, and Savannah, but the problem was the Upper East.
Winston, I have a question for you. This is a big question. Are you prepared?
Well, if I can answer it, why not?
Be prepared, because I'm going to ask you a question.
Yes.
On the back of what I'm writing.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the Bawumia effect, right?
It is.
And we are beginning to see that play out.
Yeah.
As the results begin to come in the 3 regions that have been separated in the north.
Yeah.
My question to you is, this performance we've been illustrating since Sunday evening, and the results now begin to back us up. Is that enough to earn him the succession?
You know the answer.
The succession after Nanado has left the scene.
So if Nanado wins the election, and you and I will be here, I'd answer the question.
Oh, I'm not talking. This question is regardless of what happens in the presidential race.
Because
as Nana.
Yeah, but
I'm not talking about Nana.
Yeah, but if Nanado doesn't win, the trends may change. If he wins, the response will change. So let's finish with the.
That's a political answer.
Exactly what I thought. I
didn't ask the question. I didn't ask the question with this.
But let me be very honest with you. Let me be very honest with you. I mean, if you look at it critically, you would say that based on what Bawumia has done, he deserves a huge consideration for the NPP's flag bearer position.
Yeah.
He deserves a huge consideration. Of course, he's going to go through the primaries. And if the party votes for him, so
people are going to contest him.
People are going to contest him. It's not going to be like your...
But the question remains, who has done anything like he's done?
He's done very well, and in the NPP's own interest, you would want to look at Bawumia and say, let me shame John Mahama.
Yeah, that plus his really. If you look at the NPP, who has done anything close to what Bawumia has done?
So if you have a Bawumia,
apart from Nanado himself.
yes, Evans, we're sending this to be Bawumia analysis. We'll come back to the Bawumia factor.
Okay.
But let's see if we have new results.
Okay, so that's your way of running away from the topic. That's no problem. Let's do a bit. We'll do a bit more with the post-mortem as the Savannah region, Northeast, everything come. We'll see if this turns out.
No, but I brought the Bawumia effect on Sunday night, so I started this whole thing. I'm not running away from it. But let's
it's okay. It's okay. I mean, you're allowed. You're allowed to run.
Let's see if we have more constituencies coming in. But so far the figures are coming. They're coming in. Okay, so there's one in the Northeast region.
Okay, yeah, Northeast.
Yes, let's go there.
Is it Bawumia again?
No, this is Bunkurugu.
Well, we've done Bunkurugu already.
Yes, but
we did Bunkurugu when it had not been certified.
When it had not been certified. So,
but again,
now that it's come,
that time we had a few. We had 50 polling stations in.
Yeah.
Oh, this is interesting. I made this point earlier. So yes, it's true that the NDC has won it.
Yeah, but you see, the NDC wins it, but they do not get the 2012 margins or percentage. Now, they're getting 49.8%, while in 2016,
they got
51.9%. Let's check the absolutes. And they're winning by 1,616.
So that's a small.
Yes, let's check the margins.
Forgive me.
Let's check the margins. Let's look at 2016 and check the real figures. Okay, so there you have it. John Mahama winning around the same 1,800 votes, but not a situation this time around. Again, a bit of improvement. So 1,715, now reduced to 1,600. So you can see the effects of DMB.
I mean, but for presidential, this was always supposed to be safe, right?
It is.
It's always supposed to be safe.
It is. And yeah, he's won it again, but just that he now reduces to, John Mahama.
What would be more interesting is the parliamentary for Bunkurugu, because as you see, it's a bit more nuanced in terms of for Bunkurugu. So I'm looking forward to that. I doubt if we have that yet for Bunkurugu. No, we don't. I mean, if that comes in, we'll share it with you here. I want to go back to the 2020 presidential map and see if we have any more of key results coming in right now as we begin to get a picture emerging across the country. We have Ashanti. We have 2 in Ashanti, but we've done this already.
Let's go to the Bono regions. I think there's some new trends. Well, let's see. Okay, let's see. Let's look at our half for here.
Stiffy
South.
Yeah.
Now, this is presidential. I am interested in the parliamentary.
Yeah, we don't.
The Sutifi South is Collins Dowda's seat.
Yeah, that is
want
key.
to find out
whether
he maintains
whether he's kept
it
or not.
Yes. And so this is John Mahama.
This is John Mahama tonight. He's winning tonight. Let's see his performance. 19,000, right? 50%.
Yes, and he wins by about 1,400 and something.
He's improved.
He's improved
by 5.
So watch this. So he won by 1,461. In 2016, he wins by 1,548.
Okay. So the margin hasn't really improved.
But he still won it.
Yeah.
The margin hasn't improved.
But he has improved on his real voter numbers.
Yes, he's improved on
now
numbers. Yeah.
19,000, which is really what you want to do if you were him. Okay, so what's the story now overall? What's the bigger story for us tonight? The bigger story is this. But again, this possibly we are 22. Possibly we are 22, almost 22 constituencies. Probably are 22 constituencies in the tonight for you.
Yeah.
Okay. We're counting down. We have just a little under an hour for us to leave you alone. so we'll return. But we've been doing some analysis. We've seen us wait for more results to come in.
Yeah.
On the path to 50% plus 1 for all the gentlemen, right?
Yeah.
For the two gentlemen. In other words, if Nanado and John Mahama want to win tonight's elections, of course, that just gone by, what would they need to do and where would they need to win it to win 50? Well, I'm confused whether one or, I mean, our day has been one long stretch. And
It's a very long stretch.
Yeah, I mean, so for us, it's just, I've forgotten what when we started.
Well, you know, one thing is that the studio lighting is just the same, so you don't really know what's the difference.
It's true.
So
Whether it's day or it's evening,
we're
we don't know. Okay, now, gentlemen, pay attention to this for me. This is a very important analysis we're going to go through for you. That will give you a sense of 50% plus one, the race to it. And well, my producer, Aisha, when I say gentlemen, pay attention, he tells me, gentlemen, pay no worry, I say, by the way, you know what I mean. As they say in the Bible, when you say man.
It's the same in French too. When you say il, il for plural, il is for L as well. Yes.
No, but seriously, Nanado as well as John Mahama, what is their path to 50% plus one? How do they get there? Okay, to do this analysis, we have to make a few assumptions. We have to, one of the things you first need to do is to look at their winning margins in the last three elections. So these are the assumptions that we've made and based on which we did an analysis. Percentage averages over the last consecutive elections, and we've done it over the period. So you're looking at how have they performed over the last three elections, and then use that to say to yourself, do you expect the same average performance this year? Because that then tells you a certain story. And then we're also assuming 90% national turnout expected this year. Remember, 70 million people registered to vote. You can't have 100% turnout. So this analysis is based on 90% turnout, right? And we are seeing already 80 to 90% turnout in there. And so that's what we're going to use. So cool. So, okay, so let's go into this. Now, one of the first things we said, Winston, is to say, look at the party stronghold. These are votes that we believe the party should already have in the bank secured before the contest even started on the 7th of December. Which areas are we looking at, Winston?
So we're looking at,
for the MPP,
you're looking at Ashanti region, you're looking at Eastern region, you're looking at Bono region, and Ahafo region. Now, so how do we arrive at the votes that we believe they are banked? Okay, remember the assumption we're making. How have they performed in these strongholds in the last three elections on the average? On the average, MPP has been performing, securing 74% of the votes. In Ashanti region.
Okay, in Ashanti. And I want to expand that for you here. Just pay attention to this particular place for me. This is their average performance in Ashanti region over the last three consecutive elections. First line for me. If you use that with an expected turnout of 90, before the first ballot was cast, we were expecting that the MPP would have backed 2 million votes in Ashanti or region, in the locker, locked with the key with them. And we expect them to have this number of votes in Ashanti plus, okay, based on the average performance. And then we go to Bono, if you want to take us to Bono.
So if you go to the Bono region, and we also, talking about the assumption that 90% voted turnout, and based on the NPP's performance in the Bono, you're looking at winning about 56% of the votes. And so that would take us to 329,303 because you have, an expected voter turnout of 588,041.
Okay, that same story will apply for Ahafo.
Yeah.
And we did analysis and said Ahafo is a stronghold of the MPP.
Exactly.
And then it will apply again for
Eastern region.
Another strong region for the MPP. So what does it come down to? It means that before the first ballot was cast, NPP had, and this is 3.5 million votes secured, locked down from their strongholds. This is within the margins that we've done. This is how many votes they had secured. Now, 50% plus 1 is what we are aiming at.
Exactly.
Okay, so which means that gives you, they are at 24.31%, and that is a lower number you see at the bottom there. That is, I want to bring it up because on the screen you may not see it. And this is the one in red there, 24.31%. That is what they have at the beginning. How much more do they need together? They need 25.7%.
Yeah, together.
To get to 50 plus 1, right? To get to 50 plus 1 with the 25.7%, they need to win a few more regions. Our argument is that they must win Central, right? They must win Central region because nobody has won an election in Ghana without
Central region.
Okay. If they win Central region, they get
691,000.
Okay. That means Central region takes them to 27.97%. Still far away from 50% plus 1. They must also win which region?
The Greater Accra region.
Great.
And in the Greater Accra region, you're looking at, with 49%, 1,556,288.
Okay. And that will bring them to 38.13%. They're still not there. So if MPP wins Ashanti, we expect them to win that. If we win Easton, if we win Ahafo, and they also win
Central,
Easton,
and even if they add
Central and Greater Accra, they will still be short of 50% plus 1.
Yeah.
Now, and this is where it gets interesting. They also have to win Western region.
Exactly.
Because we say it's a swing.
It's a swing.
They haven't won it before. If they win Western region addition, that takes them to 41.383%. Again, they are still short of 50% plus 1. They will need 8.17% to cross the mark. They need to get it from somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, then it means they have to start getting a lot of votes from the strongholds of the NDC.
They have to.
So you need to now go into the strongholds of the NDC, not just say, well, we'll try and see whether we can perform, but you need to be performing. You need to ensure that in the strongholds of the NDC, you try as much as possible to eat into the advantage, and that is how you get to 50 plus 1.
So that is why we say this year for the MPP, they need to be looking at Volta region.
Yeah.
Oti. The upper regions, upper west.
Northern region,
Northern
northeast, Savannah.
That is where Bawumia comes in again.
Bawumia comes in.
Again, because he has to be fighting.
Yeah,
NDC stronghold, and it's strong there. So that is why this year, these NDC stronghold will be very important for the MPP. That is how they make up the 8.1% margin they need if they win in all these swing regions plus their stronghold. So, but the path to 50% plus 1, that is the path for NPP. What is the path for NDC? You see that their path is slightly more difficult. Let's start with their strongholds.
Yeah.
In numerical terms, they have more strongholds than the MPP. But in actual vote terms, is less. Okay, and you made that point before. So the MPP, NDC, before the game started, we expected them based on our permutations to have secured
Oti,
to have secured
Northeast, Savannah, Western North, Volta region, Bono East, Northern, Upper East, and Upper West.
That's a lot of regions.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing you pointed out on Sunday is that it only gives them 2.9 million.
Exactly.
Still not close to the MPPs.
3.5 million.
With 4 regions.
Exactly.
Okay, with a strong road. Now, what this means is, with the 2.9 million that they have banked before the first vote was cast, is that it leaves them at 19.87%. They are so far away from 50% plus 1.
Exactly.
Remember when we did analysis for MPP, right? When MPP banged their strongholds before the vote was cast, they were already at 24%, right? Almost closer to 50 plus 1 than MPP is going to be. So NDC now needs a difference of 30.13% to get 50% plus 1. For them to get to that mark, they need to win. They need to go and win Central.
Central. And if they win Central, they actually get 23.69%.
Yeah.
But they also need to win Greater Accra.
Yes.
And if they win the Greater Accra and they're winning, the Greater Accra, they will now get 34.26. So
they need to win Western.
And if they win Western, they get 37.32%.
Yeah. That leaves them shy
of 12.7%.
Now, and the interesting thing about this is when both NDC and MPP strongholds and swing regions have been accounted for, whereas MPP is at 41.83%, the NDC is at 37.32%.
Exactly.
What that tells you is that the NDC's path to 50% plus one is far more difficult than the MPP's path. Okay. They now have to go into the NPP
strongholds and now begin to fight. And that's where Ashanti region
comes in.
And Ashanti region, you had the famous Agenda 1 million votes.
Yes.
You also had the famous Agenda 50-50 in the Eastern region, where the NDC said, we need to get 50% of the votes. Now, if they had those votes, bingo.
Yeah.
If they get 30%, and I'll show you the last, if they get 30% of the votes in the Ashanti region, look, then the election becomes so difficult for the NPP.
And we've analyzed and said in that graph that we showed you that they need to perform and get more than 25% of the votes
in the Ashanti region.
In the Ashanti region to win. Because each time in an election year, the NDC manages 25% plus, they won the national elections. That is in the Ashanti region. And this year, more than any other year, that will be true too again. So we are watching those numbers from the strongholds.
Yeah.
And if you look at the stronghold analysis for both NDC and MPP, there's a trend that begins to emerge. Who over the years is performing better in whose stronghold? I mean,
well, the MPP seems to be performing better in the NDC's stronghold.
So percentage of votes in opponent's stronghold. This is the story, right? Blue line is MPP's performance in Volta region. Green line is NDC's performance in Ashanti region. Win or lose, right? So this is the story for you of the NDC in Ashanti region. And this is the MPP in Volta region, right? But when you look at the way the NDC is performing in Ashanti, right? This is green line, NDC performance in Ashanti region. They did very well 1996, dropped, climbed in 2008, dropped in 2008 runoff. Now climbed again in 2012. John Mahama did so well in 2012 in Ashanti region. And then dips, right? Look at how the NPP has been performing in the Volta region over the period. And you see that it's in a climb. And so the momentum appears to be on the back of the NPP in this race to 50% plus one this year. Now you know the path and how they need to get there. Let's see if the actual results coming in right now is reflecting what they need to do to win this. Okay, so I've seen Upper East coming in with a result.
Busa North. So this is presidential. John Mahama, 66.3%, 16,654, compared to Akufado's 27.6%, 6,931. And you'll be looking at the trend to see if there's any improvement, for Akufado. Well, so John Mahama
has dropped.
Okay, so John Mahama actually polled 15,944 in 2016 compared to Akufado's 6,017. So Akufado has 26.9, John Mahama 71.2. Now let's look at the 2020 figures again. So John Mahama drops to 66.3%, even though he increases it marginally, and Akufado gains to 27.6%.
Okay, so John Mahama wins it, but drops in percentage terms. Okay, Busa North is our friend James Agaga. constituency, and I know he's been doing a lot of hard work there, but it appears he didn't deliver as much for JM. And you made a point. Yeah. JM himself didn't focus too much on...
No, JM wasn't so much in the northern part of the country.
Yeah.
You know, normally, if you're strong in a particular area, one of the things you want to do is to go and get votes in your opponent's stronghold, like we're just doing the analysis. One of the things you forget is that while you're trying to get, votes in your opponent's stronghold, he's also targeting your stronghold.
Yeah.
So you just don't leave your stronghold and say they're going to vote for me. You try as much as possible. But John Mahama found himself in a very difficult situation. And I'll explain. Now, the running mate to John Mahama is not a Bawumia. I know there are those who are going to say, oh, but Bawumia, but she's not a Bawumia. And if you're not a Bawumia in the sense that you're not that person who goes onto the campaign platform and leave with slogans or leaves with jabs, okay? So trust Bawumia, he goes out there. Whatever he says gets he generates controversy, he generates talkability about his campaign. And once you do that, you're also getting people who you didn't even contact. It's like an indirect way of doing things. Yeah. So I tell you, oh, Evan, so have you heard of Bawumia's statement about this and that and that and that and that? So he has a nice way of campaigning. So yes, the NDC running mate went to the northern part of the country, but her influence would not have been like John Mahama going to the northern part of the country. Anyway, it's still very early, so let's continue with the analysis. I'm sure that...
we'll see how that pans out.
out.
This is a national picture. If you're just waking up and looking at your screen for the very first time, this is Nana Addo at 51.1%, the race to 51 plus 1. 51%?
Yes.
Plus 1. That's
50%
the race.
plus 1.
50% plus 1. That's a race there. But again, we have to put this in context of the number of constituencies that have been called so far that we are inputting for you as this begins to play out. Currently, we are doing a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21.
Well, we're continuing.
21.
And I'm sure that by 6 a.m. a lot of them will just come and block.
Yeah, and
so
then we'll put it in for you so to see the picture that begins with. But a few parliamentary results also that is interesting tonight. The biggest one, if you're waking up and you haven't heard already, I can tell you.
Well, I'm sure by now that you do know.
Oh, you do know. I mean, but I've heard the rumors already circulating that this is
George Anda.
Yeah, in the central region.
Would not be going back to Parliament, at least not in 2021.
He won't.
He wouldn't be in Parliament
because somebody avenged her sister.
The loss of her sister, her sister's loss.
Yeah,
that's it. So, 32,708, 29,832, and George Anda is out of Parliament.
Yes, and we are also looking at a few places that we know are interesting. Bright Rokubobe has won her seat, and this is all in the central region.
So let me see. I think Cape Coast South is in. The parliamentary results of Cape Coast South, let's just check it here. So I think I'm seeing something. Okay, so, oh no, this is, okay, let's expand it. This is Cape Coast South. Kweku Ricketts Hagan
maintains it.
So
there's a skirt and blouse happening here.
Yes, it is.
The skirt and blouse happening here. So let me check the presidential result for you.
Mm-hmm. There you have it.
Yeah.
The skirt and blouse. So again, Kweku Ricketts Hagan holds on to it because in 2016, the NPP won the presidential also, and he still maintained it.
He's very popular.
He's very popular.
He's popular. It's far more popular than John Mahama is.
In that constituency.
You know, the story about 2016 also is actually very interesting because if you look at John Mahama's performance, he performed better than his parliamentary candidates. He won 122 constituencies, but in parliament they have 106, it is, I think it was parliamentary seats. So he was more popular. He won more constituencies than them. But of course, Ricketts again shows that if you are formidable, you don't have to worry too much about...
Not at all.
You know, And Ricketts wanted to contest him. In fact, I remember we met, the primaries.
Yeah.
One of those who wanted to challenge him. He was a deputy finance minister under Mills.
And Mahama even.
Under Mahama, yes.
And he eventually became a central regional minister under Mahama.
Under Mahama.
And it was one of the reasons why he was able to win in 2016. Because, your regional minister, he certainly know how to go about it.
So, whereas Nanado wins the Cape Coast South constituency this year, in the skirt and blouse performance, the parliamentary candidate for the NDC, Kweku Ricketts-Hagan, wins the Cape Coast South constituency for the party. Right?
Yeah.
So this is a skirt and blouse constituency there. They vote presidential for MPP, parliamentary for the NDC. So we begin to see how this plays out in the coming days here on your election quarter. But there's a lot more to go through for you in the next 30 minutes or so. I want to take a break. When we return, we will get you more of the results, analyze it, and then at 6 o'clock, we'll hand over to the next team stepping in to continue with analysis with the results coming in. Stay with us. And thanks for staying with us here on your election headquarters. I want to take you to Fomina right now, where we understand the EC office there is in flames. Our correspondent is joining us with the very latest on this. Nanaya Ojima, why is the place in flames, as we've been told?
I cannot tell exactly how it happened, because at the moment that the incident happened, we were all in the collation center. At that moment, the youth were very agitated. They had attempted to enter the collation center, but it took the police and military intervention to prevent them from entering the collation center. They had gotten wind of the EC declaring the results any moment at that period. So they attempted to force themselves into the collation center and stop the EC from doing so. But the military and police were very professional and prevented them from entering. At that moment, I heard somebody telling the district chief executive, who was also part of the people who were agitated and forcing the EC not to declare the results, somebody telling him that the youth, the young people have started a fire at the EC office, which sits about 200 meters away from the collation center. So the declaration of the results, the police helped the media and all those within the collation center out of the area. That is when we found the place in flames, the EC office being burnt down, but there were two fire service tenders, and they were working hard to ensure that they doused the flame. At the moment, I'm at the police station, which is about 200 meters away from the EC office, and I can see that it looks like the fire service is almost done with dousing the flame. Due to the quick intervention of the fire service, the flame couldn't spread to other parts of the building. They've been able to manage it at the moment. Now, not long ago, the police tried to disperse the crowd, and I can see some of the people who had gathered at the collation center moving to their homes. The military and the police are still on the ground, ensuring that there is calm, even after declaring the results which the people here at Fomina had contested.
So what you're seeing on the screens right now, and again, for those who listen to us on Joy 99.7 FM, are pictures of a fire tender where the fire, of course, a fire service officer attempting to put out, what our reporter Danlea Ojima tells us are flames that had engulfed the Electoral Commission office in Fomina. And Fomina, by the way, Danlea Ojima, are you still there with us?
Yes, I'm still here.
So, but do we know yet if this is arson, as in somebody deliberately set this place ablaze, or this is not something that had been done deliberately? Well, what are the officials saying?
Due to the nature of the place, or due to the chaos, at Fomena, I couldn't get closer to the fire service officials, but it is alleged that it is the youth who caused this flame because the EC office is about 200 meters away from the district office where the EC was collating the results. I'm talking about the district chief executive's office where the EC was collating the results. So before you get to the district, the collation center, you have to go through the EC's office. So many here suspect that it's an arson, but we are yet to confirm from the fire service officials here on the ground.
Earlier, there was confusion, right? The one particular political party didn't like the fact that the EC was going to declare the results there. And then now we're learning that the place has been set ablaze. What was it related to the results? And do we have any confirmation of the actual results?
Yes, we have the actual results. I sent it through not long ago. Even though the NPP wasn't happy with what was happening, the EC went ahead to declare the results and actually told them to go to the court if they have any issues with the declaration that is being done. So I'll move straight to the results, and I'll start with the parliamentary results, which the NPP has been contesting here in the Fomena constituency. So
let's go. Let's do that and do it slowly for me, please. And this is Fomena.
Yes, Fomena constituency.
Okay, hold on for me. Hold on. Okay, let's do this. We can go now.
So, number one on the ballot is Philip Asante, the NPP parliamentary candidate for Fomena constituency.
Okay, Philip Asante, right?
Yes, Asante.
Okay.
He was able to poll 10,798.
10,798.
Yes.
Okay, Philip, and let's go.
The next is Christina Ama Ramson.
Okay, Christina. Who is Christina?
Christina Ama Ramson for the NDC.
Okay.
And she managed to do 2,608.
2,608. Okay.
Yes. And Apia J. Eric. Third.
Okay.
He managed 158 ballots.
Okay.
Then Amuakun Andrew Esiama,
Okay.
the independent parliamentary candidate.
Okay.
He did 12,805.
12,805.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we are talking about the total valid ballot of 26,369. Rejected ballots were 247. And the total vote cast was 26,616. Yes, so that is for the parliamentary results.
Okay.
I have the presidential results here.
Okay, let's go to the presidential.
Okay, so presidential. Number one on the sheet is Nana Dankwa Akufadu.
Okay.
He managed 19,224.
Okay. Give me a second. 19,000.
224.
224.
Yes. And John Dramani Mahama, National Democratic Congress, he could do 6,000.
6,000.
6,000. 457.
457. Okay, that's enough. It's okay. So that's the picture there. Somebody was objecting to these results being declared. Which party was this?
It was the New Patriotic Party, led by Philip Asante and the NPP chairman, Kofi Anti, and also the district chief executive for the area was also part of the people objecting to the results.
But why didn't they want the results declared? Obviously, they lost. I mean, but what, did they have a genuine concern?
So, according to them, they cited a number of infractions on the pink sheet, and they are pointing to overvoting as one of them. Some people were not verified for casting their ballots as another. And in one instance, they claim that the number of sheets in the ballot sheet in the booklet didn't match with the number that they were supposed to retain. So it was one more than the number they were expected. They were expecting that the EC will return. So they believe that the EC also, helped the incumbent member of parliament to win the seat. So they are pointing to the EC as being biased. They believe the police also on the day didn't do their work well. And among other issues that they think were infractions and should be looked at.
Thank you very much, Nana Ojima. And you can see the pictures on our screens now. Live, well, these are not live visuals, but just recorded a short while ago and sent to us by Nana Ojima. You can see the fire service officers, at work, trying to put out the fire that had been, thrown into the, from what we understand, the Electoral Commission offices there after the EC went ahead to declare the results in spite of the opposition from the New Patriotic Party in Fomina. The New Patriotic Party went into the polls this year with their incumbent member of parliament switching to run as an independent candidate. And they had tried to get him to stand down. He refused. As the polls has now been declared, well, it turns out he has, in fact, retained his seat, but he's going to go to parliament as an independent candidate. The party had tried to get him to vacate his seat in the House, and it failed. And he turns out that he wins it 12,000
Well, he was actually asked to vacate his seat.
Yes, he was asked.
He was asked.
The party wrote to Speaker of Parliament.
And the Speaker said he should vacate his seat. He had also said to the party that, look, I'm going independent, I'm going to win, and when I win, I'll join you in Parliament. Well, he has won, but now that the party got him, sacked or got him to be asked to vacate his seat, the question you ask is, would he be willing to work with a group of persons?
He actually did an interview with Joseph Gakpo.
Yeah.
And said that he will win, and when he goes to Parliament, don't mind them. I'll work with them.
We'll work with them. Well, because yes, I mean, the thing is that you're told that failure has no friends. Success has a lot
of friends, yeah.
So now that he's won, I'm sure.
Oh, they'll play ball.
The MPP would have to start calling him because, the MPP is losing about 30 of their seats. Yeah. If the NDC's analogy is true. And so far, from our own check, some of the constituents that were mentioned as having been won by the NDC, it's turned out that they won those constituencies. We've seen the Trifuatimokwa constituency, we've seen the Ewutu Senya West, we've seen the Jama North constituency. So we're waiting, fingers crossed. And you see, so that's it.
I like these numbers. I remember when he took the decision to go independent, he didn't even contest the primaries.
No, he decided not to contest.
Because he saw he was being mafiaed, so to speak, right? I mean, muzzled out of the game. And then if I contest, I will lose. But then I will legitimize the process.
Exactly.
so I won't even contest.
He actually had filed, he had bought nomination forms.
Exactly.
Then withdrew from the contest, said he wasn't going to be part of it.
Yeah. And then he said, I'm going independent. The party tried to get him to that. I'm sure they would have made him office. Mm-hmm. That's what happened. You don't worry, when we were trying to give you up. And he still said, I am going to, because he knew what was going to happen in the elections.
Yeah.
He knew he had a ground game, which was tight. And as you see, he's won it by 12,000 votes, beating. We did battleground.
Battlegrounds, I remember.
Yeah, with Philip, who the MPP candidate, and in that battleground, he was on it with Christina, the NDC candidate, the lady, and he acknowledged that Andrew Isiama's presence will cost him, but of course, his confidence level in stating that he will win was suspect, right? Was very suspect. Christina was hoping to take advantage of the MPP disagreement.
She was daydreaming. Because look, the evidence is clear. Now look at JM, even gets more votes
than her.
Than Christy. I mean, it's obvious that, Christina was not in the race at all. And I remember at that particular battleground, you and I also agreed that the NPP's candidate was going to win.
Yeah.
So we missed that one.
It was strong because if we go to Fomena, I want to put Fomena because you see, he is one of the best performers.
Yeah.
One of the best performers, parliamentary. He's one of the best performers. Forgive me. This is.
Fomena is in Ashanti region.
In Ashanti region.
And that should be open up a bit, as in the Dancy areas. So there you go. Fomena. Yeah.
Let's put the trends. One of the best performers there. In fact, it's not one of them. He is the best
performer,
all-time performer for the party in the place. And it came up, right?
Sure.
A few hours back on this same segment.
Yeah.
And we pointed out that he's formidable.
Very formidable.
I mean, somebody like that with this track record, nobody has come close to his mark. You don't play with him. No wonder he's won it tonight for himself.
Yeah.
He's won it for himself. You may not see this. Let me put it away. He's won it for himself. He's won it.
He's won it. And,
He's an independent candidate.
Yes, as an independent candidate. But I'm interested in Bekwai.
Okay, Bekwai.
Joe Wise.
Joe Wise.
Yeah.
But he did something similar.
He did something similar. And someone is seeking to do that to him.
Well, Joe Wise's strength in Bekwai is strong, right?
Very
so strong. This is a man who dared do what Andiata had done and succeeded. He got rewarded by the party. I mean, the party will have to play more with this.
Andrew Sima, but let's see if we have some results coming in. I'm sure by now we do have, lots of results coming in. Let's see, 2020. Let's see. Let me see. 2020. Let's see if we have some results trickling in.
We have a bit more in the Eastern region.
Yeah, let's see them.
And a bit more in the Eastern region.
Okay, so let's go to Akwetia. Hold on a minute.
And NDC.
Say they've won Akwetia.
They won Akwetia parliamentary.
Let's check the parliamentary in Akwetia.
That is if we have it.
Let's see if we have it.
Let's see if we have it. We do. They won.
And it's true.
It's true. They won it.
Yeah.
They won it. Let's see the trends there. Akwetia presidential has been pretty consistent. Of course, we have a gap here, but it shows you in the last two elections, they have swung. Mm-hmm. They swung from NDC to MPP. NDC has taken it back.
Yeah.
Right? And again, it goes to confirm the point you're making that the constituencies that the NDC announced that they had won.
They had won. It is looking like, indeed,
it's true.
They won them.
So
the NPP is actually challenged one of them. That's the Abrasibo Kwamankese constituency.
Yes, we're waiting for that.
We're waiting for that constituency.
That central region.
And they talked about, in the greater Accra, all they said was they should be tickling themselves and be laughing and flip-flopping. But it's looking like it's true. And, well, as the constituency's results coming, but it's looking so far, I do not have any reason to doubt the NDC.
Yeah.
Because the constituencies they say they had won, our results are confirming them.
Yeah.
So, indeed, it is true, very likely true, that the NDC is able to flip 35 constituencies from the NPP. Yeah. You know what that means? What that means is that the NDC, if you add that to their 106, they get to 141. And it would leave the NPP with 134. But that is not all, because the NPP has also flipped more than 10 constituencies of the NDC. And if you do that calculation, it means then the NPP would get to the 140-something, and that would have majority. But that's not all also, because there are still some constituencies to come.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be very interesting.
So if you're just joining us tonight in Akwetia constituency, the NDC parliamentary, in the parliamentary race, the NDC has won it back from the NPP. They flipped it. They've won it back from them. The NPP held it in 2016 parliamentary. The NDC has won it back. But in the presidential, they still give Akwetia to
Akufadu.
So
Akufadu wins handsomely here.
Yeah.
Now, Akufadu was in the constituency campaign. You heard Mercy Amase, the incumbent member of parliament, saying that because chiefs in the area had spoken to her,
she nearly went independent.
She wasn't going to contest independent again. And I tell you one thing, look, there were supporters of Ernest Kumi and who would take to social media and start saying she should try and see what will she get. Politics is a game of numbers. When you win a parliamentary election, one of the first things you do is to try and get everybody together. Because if you have a divided front, and that's basic, you would not win.
Yeah.
Particularly in constituencies that swing. You don't want to go in with a divided front. Sadly, for Ernest Kumi, a young man who was seeking to get into Ghana's parliament and serve his people of Akwetia, he would have to wait another 4 years.
Yeah.
And that's if his party nominates him as a parliamentary candidate.
I mean, so that's a story there in Akwetia for you, where the skirt and blouse.
Yes.
Playing out again. But again, she didn't go independent, but it didn't make a difference in final analysis because NDC won it anyway.
Anyway, yes. So what that actually tells you, and so you want to find out, was the NPP able to unite before the election? Because from Akufadu's margins, and our sister station, Adom FM, had organized, an event, a parliamentary debate. The NDC's candidate didn't show up. Okay, and it was same in Lejokuku. We're waiting for the results from Lejokuku anyway. We don't know how it's going to turn out. The NDC says they've won it. The MEP is also claiming, some supporters of Okobo are claiming they've won it. But even in that particular constituency, on battlegrounds, the NDC's candidate failed to show up. He had agreed he was going to speak to us. And when it was time, he said he was holding meetings. And we felt that it was one of the ways that Okobo could capitalize on and eventually emerge victorious. If what the NDC says anything to go by, it doesn't look like it's worked for him.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So that's Akwetia for you there. The story of Akwetia emerging tonight in the race to Jubilee as it begins to unfold. Okay, so I want to end with this because we're just about wrapping up.
I think let's go to the Upper East again.
Oh, there's one that has come up.
Yeah.
Bogatanga East.
Yes.
John Mahama wins it. Let's see if we have the parliamentary. So John Mahama has won Bogatanga East. And it's an NDC place. Yeah. He's won it with 67.1%. That translating to 12,630.
What that means is that John Mahama's percentage has reduced because he won it with 69% in 2016.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so that's it. Let's see if we have parliamentary coming in for that same place.
Dr. Adjine? Okay.
No, we don't. We'll check that for you later. But I wanted to show you the national picture. The race to, I see another one in Upper West.
So that's, I think that's the Isa area. Let's see. Lambusi, Isa County. So the NPP also said they're taking this from the NDC. And there you have it.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true, because in parliamentary, in 2016 was held by the NDC, and MPP has overtaken them and snatched the seat back in the Upper East. Interesting that I am yet to see the NDC's game in Ashanti. We're waiting for that.
Yeah.
But it appears, as we did analysis about 50% plus one, that the MPP is doing is flipping some seats in NDC, typical NDC strongholds, which will be key this year, as we pointed out. So in Lambusi, Kani, again, the only time parliamentary they've won this is in 2008. So to flip it back is interesting. And the NDC guy who was there had 58%. Of course, I mean, they managed Edward Derry is the NDC candidate there. He's lost it to the MPP's Bachi Baligi. Now, what is the situation with the presidential, though?
Let's see. Was Akufadu able to win that?
We don't have that yet.
Yes, we don't have that yet.
We don't have that yet. We'll get that to you shortly. But that is the Lambusi County constituency, and the parliamentary has been won by the NPP. Do we have this?
Yes, there's one else coming.
Yagabakubori. Let's go.
Let me go here.
Presidential.
Akufadu beats John Mahama to the presidential election in Yagabakubor, as you can see, 17,000 to John Mahama's 9,000. Let's check 2016 quickly.
Okay.
Let's check 2016.
2016.
And you look at it and you'd see John Mahama won in 2016 with 10,000 votes to Akufado's 8,000. And this is how Akufado flips it. Comes in with 17,000.
That is from 8,000
to 17,000 votes.
Yeah. That is huge.
And you want to go to the parliamentary?
That's huge.
Let's see the parliamentary.
We don't have that yet.
We don't have that, but
let's go back to Yagaba It's because it's an interesting story there to tell. And Winston, it's one of those areas that you need to spend time. This is the last one we're going to do, and we are going to take a break.
Yeah.
Because here we go. Because Akufadu has won Yagaba Kubore.
Exactly.
And it was in the news for all the wrong reasons because of the chaos there, right?
Yeah.
And he wins it by 17,000.
And 99.
99, right?
Yeah, and John Mahama posed 9,000.
9,000. But this is Nana.
There's Nana, yeah, we'll see it. So
JM,
yeah.
9,000. 881.
Yes.
This is this year, right? This is this year, 2020.
2020.
My interest is 2016. In 2016, Akufado loses it.
Yeah.
Quite heavily.
He lost it by 2,500 votes.
Right? He just managed 8,188.
Yeah.
With John Mahama doing
10,638.
Okay, this is Nana. This is JM in 2000. The gain is astronomical.
I am surprised, Evans, because you're looking at, first of all, Nana, he gains over 9,000 more votes because the margin now is over 7,000 votes between him and John Mahama.
How is that even possible? I mean, the jump. I mean, what is accounting for this? This is a valid votes. I mean, there because you have a 10 out of 81% in 2016, only 19,000 people managed to get it. I mean, because I'm curious to know what is accounting for this. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
There's an increase
from 19,000 to 27,000. Which means that Akufado was taking a lion's share of that. Like he was raking in almost all the new voters that are coming on board.
John Mahama sees his votes reducing in this constituency.
It's true. It's an amazing sort of story of the opposite ends.
But you ask yourself a very simple question. So why this particular situation? If you go to 2012, and I say this, so in 2012, Abdul Rauf Tanko, who was then Member of Parliament, lost that constituency. And just check the trends, because the trends will show you something in 2012. In 2012, the NPP won both. That's it.
Yeah.
Now, in that year, Abdul Rauf Tanko loses, and he's made Hajj Committee chairman. He comes back in 2016, beats the current National Service Scheme Executive Director, who unseated him in 2012. And one would think that, having done that, he will be able to continue. Sadly, he doesn't win. So, could it be a case of vote buying? I am not sure. The margins are just too huge.
How do you explain this? Begin to explain this? I don't understand. From a winning position, this is 2016, of 10,000. I mean, but again, notice this, Winston. JM's margin of win in 2016 wasn't huge.
Yeah, it wasn't huge.
It wasn't huge. 8,000.
Yeah.
In fact, it's just a little over 1,000 votes.
Exactly. But the point is,
but to drop.
Yes, that's the issue, to drop, because he drops. And that's the point. In 2012, for instance, when Abdul Rauf Tanko lost, the consensus was that, well, he lost his father prior to 2012. And someone had said in 2008 that, look, this man, the father is the MP. The day his father dies, the day he will lose his seat. When he lost, they said, I told you his father was the MP. But he staged a comeback. Okay, he staged a comeback. And so once you stage a comeback, you're able to say, well, this was a fluke. I mean, I lost because maybe a few things didn't go well for me. But then you've lost again.
Yeah.
And so
So we need to get into the reaction and try and get a reporter there to understand what may be at play here that led to Nanado probably targeted this particular area and probably would have done a lot for the community. I don't know, but this is a fascinating case study to look at. From a losing position of 8,000 to 17,000.
Yeah.
And then Jomama doing the opposite. From a winning position of 10,000 to 9,000 in a constituency in the Yagaba-Kubore area. I want to see what the parliamentary story is.
Exactly.
Because that will tell the other one. But we don't have that yet, I believe. Let me see.
Let's see if we have that.
Oh, we do. Yusuf Mustafa.
He does better than Akufadu.
Wow.
So then you can say, this is the magic man.
You're right. Abdul Rauf is still there, right?
It's still there. Abdul Rauf
Still there. And it's still, and this is an incumbent. He's been
incumbent member of
for 2 terms, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, he was from 2004 to 2012.
He's been there for long.
And when he lost, then he's come back. Well.
So you say it's possible the strength of Yusuf Mustafa.
Coupled with maybe whether the consensus was targeted, because it looks like the NPP targeted the Northeast region. It is beginning to look like the NPP targeted the Northeast region. They targeted key seats in the, Savannah and Northern regions, and they are delivering those seats.
Yeah, I mean, the strategy. I mean, we only did analysis 50% plus 1. We arrived at one conclusion. I keep on coming back to that. This year, your opponent's stronghold will be more important to you than your place.
Exactly.
Than your stronghold.
So,
and you see the MPP doing it in these traditionally NDC strongholds.
So we need to wait for the Ashanti region.
We need to wait for the Ashanti region because to be fair to the NDC, they also targeted the Ashanti region.
Yeah, they did.
So
let's look at the trend in Ashanti region. Where it rained, we're told.
It rained.
Election day. So
it rained.
Let's see.
So Yagaba-Kubore has fallen.
It has
tonight. Has fallen both presidential and parliamentary.
So
has fallen tonight to the NPP. NPP has managed to take it back from the NPP. Winston, I'm looking forward to taking the rest.
Well, Evans, I agree with you. I'm looking forward to taking it. We certainly would come back. I mean, it's a long day. It's certainly a long day. We'll turn around, like we say, and the next team would be here.
Yeah,
to take over. Are coming in. Well, I'm told what?
Is it refresh?
Refresh. Our producers have a nice way of getting us to stay, isn't it?
Yeah, well, don't mind them. We'll file a case against them.
Okay, I think there's another one in the Upper East region. Let's see. Garu. Now, this is an area I'd want to see the parliamentary election. And it's for a reason. Because when we went there, Osman Musa, the NPP's candidate, looked like a formidable person. Also because the NDC's Albert Alazuga faced competition from his own party and former member of parliament, Dominic Azimbe Azuma, as an independent candidate.
Okay, so has the NDC's parliamentary candidate, NPP parliamentary, has he improved their lot there from 2016? Let's see.
I think no.
10,000, 45%.
He hasn't. This man has maintained his...
He actually dropped.
He dropped. I'd love to see the margins of...
the presidential?
No, the margins of Dominic Azuma. How many votes did he pull? Because if you add this...
Dominic Azuma is who?
The independent candidate.
Let's do that.
Let's see.
Let's do candidates.
Let's do candidates and see. He pulled 5,000. And with that 5,000... the NPP could not take advantage of it. Let's see the presidential, and that'll give you a signal as to how things would have been if he didn't contest. And I share a funny. So that's it. That's the evidence. And I'll tell you one thing, Evans. When I was in that constituency, I met this lady and I asked her, "Oh, is that not Honorable Azuma? He's contesting as an independent candidate. Would you vote for him?" You know what she told me?
Tell me.
We want him to rest. We want him to rest. He has served 5 terms.
If you don't got votes there, if you don't got 34 votes.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
That's good.
Because
In fact, okay, one.
she got more votes than Bridget Jogwenu.
Oh my goodness!
Yes.
Even got more votes than Cornelia Rawlings.
No. Clear that for you.
Oh, okay. I was counting in. Okay. Well,
Again, third force, Goom.
Goom seemed to be doing very well. I mean, across the country. Ivor. I mean, well, even Hassan. David Apasera. I mean, they sort of come from the. Where's Bridget?
She's here.
I'm struggling to find her name.
She's like West 17.
Are you seriously saying?
Yes.
Ekria Donko performed better in Garu
Bridget. Yes.
to Bridget Jogbenuku?
That's the evidence on the ground, Evans.
Sorry, that's it. It's there. This is the pink sheet. It says, it speaks for itself. Okay, now I'm interested in all the contestants. Now I want to see. Mischief has set in. Let's look at Busa. Hello, Mamisi. Good morning. What is happening there? Let's listen in.
Yeah, Evan, good morning. I'm currently at the Collation Center at Fortema East at Odlum Senior High School. And this morning, the temperatures are high right now. It started when an EC official came in this morning to file his pink sheet. The EC official, who I got by name Bernard Nemo, couldn't file his pink sheet last night after counting. According to him, he came here, but the queues were winding very long and he wasn't feeling too well. And so he put the pink sheet, according to him, he put the pink sheet at the back of his car, at the boot of his car, and then went home. And so because of the, commotion going on last night, electoral officers not able to go into the hall earlier enough, he didn't come back. He slept over and then came in this morning to file his pink sheet, and that didn't go too well with the rest of the party agents here, as well as the EC officers who were confused because currently they are trying to input the figures that they have collated from all the polling stations in order to arrive at a final result for the candidates that, for the Tema East constituency. And so as I speak to you now, the situation is the man has been surrounded by security officers trying to verify the papers that he has brought in, but then it hasn't disrupted counting or inputting of the figures that have come from the polling station. However, there is commotion among supporters of the candidates. They are very agitated, and the man is in a very, very, very confused state right now as I speak to you, Evan.
In because I can see a bit of conversation there happening.
Yes. Currently, people still do not understand what is going.
Can we listen in because I can see this conversation happening with the police officers surrounding this gentleman who looks like in an EC uniform.
Yeah.
So I left on my own and I went home to go back and take something to eat because I was feeling bad. Now it was around 9:30 to 10. Are you getting me? And so my idea was that because the information has already been sent, and the crowd will not be relaxed more. I will come and meet the queue because the queue was long. I know that if I relax more and I come in the night crowd, I will come and meet the queue. But then when time I woke up, it was around 4 o'clock. So I had to back and rush and come. When I was coming, the soldier men were at the gate. I wasn't carrying anything. If I was carrying anything at the gate, the soldier men would have asked me. But the thing was in my car, so I just came to open the boot. And I thought that it is the pinch, so I'm just coming to open the boot. But the information on the platform. The information has been given on the platform, so I was just coming to submit my pinch. All the ballot papers and everything were submitted in the board. The ballot papers.
Mamesi, thank you very much. And I can see a lot of security officers there right now trying to bring this under control. And Titus Glover.
Yeah, that's his constituency.
We showed you that we had the results for this particular constituency. If I'm not mistaken, we do. And he had lost that seat, if I'm not mistaken, this is Greater Accra.
No, we don't have it yet.
No, we don't have it yet. We don't have it yet. We don't have it yet. I mean, we don't have it yet. Forgive me, he's not lost it yet. But we'll go into that later and bring that to you when we have it shortly.
But
more constituencies coming in.
I think so. Let's look at the parliamentary.
Oh, Ashanti. If you feel Ashanti are coming, all looks blue.
Yeah.
All looks blue. So we have Ashanti Akim North at coming. We also have
Fijiasia
Sokore. Okay, so Ashanti Akim North, Akufadu wins it. Akufadu has won Ashanti Akim North in Ashanti region, 27,000, equals 68%. An MPP stronghold, no surprises there. If you just say Sokore, Akufadu wins it again.
78%.
78%. If you do the trends, well, I mean, it's high up there.
Well, but in 2016 it was 82.
It was 82. It did better. It did better in
2016.
2016.
Yeah, than 2020.
Yeah, okay. And then we also have here, if we just say East,
which we've seen already.
let's put the trend, and again, safe seat, but you're looking, pay attention to the rest of the numbers there. Okay. I see a few. This Central region, we've done these already, have we? Upper Dentra East is done, lower.
No, we haven't. Let's see. Upper Dentra East.
Nanton wins it.
Nanton wins it. Let's look at the parliamentary. Okay,
Festus Kofi.
Yeah.
So Festus Kofi. So this is an MPP area, by the way. It's an MPP area, so we expect the MPP to win. So the MPP has won Upper Dentra East, both presidential and parliamentary in this particular area in the Central region. Again, Central region is a key place. We are all watching. I see a green for the Central.
Yes. Well, that's true for Atimoko. But let's go to Upper West region.
Upper West.
Let's go to Upper West because I am seeing this. Oh no, I think this is Northeast. Okay, so that part is Northeast.
I see something. I see a green there. We've done this already.
Yeah,
we have that Garo.
Yeah, Garo we have.
We've done Garo already that came in. I see in the Eastern region there is this.
Yes, let's look at that.
That must be Akwitia. We looked at already. Okay, let's look at the national picture as this has been pouring in. The national picture is here. Okay, so gradually, the race to 50% plus one is getting filled up. And this is from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
So hold on 1 minute.
I missed it.
So we're looking at the parliamentary. So you saw,
we have parliamentary. I'm talking about.
Yes, let's look at the
presidential.
Yes. So, there you have it.
Yeah. Okay. Presidential.
Oh, Price was in.
And Priaso is in the Eastern region.
Yes.
Akufadu wins in Priaso. This is, as you see here, an MPP stronghold, but he wins to 71%. In the last election, wins 73%. He's dropped.
He's dropped, yeah.
He's dropping percentage terms there. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to be dropping percentages in places where he previously won. Let's see parliamentary. We don't have that. We'll get that for you shortly. We have Etiwa East.
Yeah, that's a deputy finance.
Abino Sayasari.
Yeah.
Etiwa East. She wins it. In 2016, she actually has improved on her percentage.
No.
I mean, well,
she's lost.
She's lost ground. She's lost ground. Yeah. Forgive me. She's lost ground. She was at 77% and she's now at 75%.
Yeah.
What happens to Nanado in that area then?
Let's see.
Let's see. Presidential. Okay, so he is at 70% now.
He was 75%.
75%. So the vote drop.
Yeah.
Now, so these two constituencies we've seen so far in the Eastern region, where Akufadu has dropped votes.
Yeah.
We see it in Priaso. We see it in Etiwa East. And you don't want to be doing that in your strongholds this year of all years, right? Mm-hmm. Akim Sredo We did a chance it because we've done these three constituencies already. Okay, I see Upper East. I see Busa North, Busa South has come.
Yeah, we've done Busa North already, so let's do Busa South.
Joma wins it again. Busa South is where a park is.
Yes, that's where
Parliamentary Park is.
So let's look at the trends.
No, but wait. Let me pull my favorite graph here.
Again.
Ekradronko again is beating Bridget Ogbonuku.
Oh no.
Again. In fact, even beats Konedu Adjuman Rollins.
Yes.
No, but seriously, I mean,
Ekradronko is doing well.
Ekradronko is doing well. I mean, she's beat all of them in the
But in the 2000 election, Dr. Charles Rekubrobe, then with the UG.
And it's a fair comparison because there are 3 presidential candidates on the ballot for the first time.
Yes, but you see...
3 female.
Yes, but you see, Evans, this is the point. I'm telling you that in 2000 election, Dr. Rekubrobe, then with the UGM, United Ghana Movement, it was all over the country. I mean, I was in secondary school, he came there, gave boys caps and stuff like that. When you go and register for UGM. Now, Dan Lati was all over the country talking about domestication, everything domestication. UGM got 0.3% of the vote. Dan Lati had 1% of it. Maripoto. So sometimes, you see, the slogans, Ekradronko, everything, she's talking about all of those things. So
I want to take you to Odolodiojo right now. Earlier, we reported the arrest of the parliamentary candidate, the incumbent member of parliament, Nilanti Vanderpoel for Odolodiojo. We understand he has been released from police custody now. Ernest Menu, please confirm for us, is this the case tonight? This morning, I guess. Kindly unmute your Zoom because we can't hear you if you have muted it.
I have unmuted. Okay. I hope you can hear me now, Evans.
I can hear you.
Okay, so information we are picking up from the Accra Central Police headquarters is that he has been granted bail. However, we are in touch with some of the men who were arrested alongside him. Evans, in fact, when we got there, we noticed there were not just 12 in.
Okay, we seem to have lost Ernest there, but we'll get back to Ernest immediately. We get that link back up for you so we can get the very latest for you from Odolodiojo, where the arrest of the incumbent member of parliament was reported a few hours back. Well, Ernest is back. Hello, Ernest. You were reporting?
Well, Evans, I don't know where the line dropped, but what I'm saying is that we're picking up information that the MP has been granted bail. He has been released from the Accra Central Police Station. However, Evans, when we got there, remember I told you that I counted as many as 12 young men who were with him, who were part of the team doing the collation at the hotel where he was picked up. When we got to the police station, we noticed that other people had also been arrested connected to the MP, and the number we were given by the police was 50. Actually, not by the police, but by his lawyers, 50. And so the former Attorney General Marietta Pialpon was there. Tony Lita, also one of the members of the NDC legal team, was also there to help deal with the issue legally. And so he has been granted bail. However, the young men, some of them are still in police custody. And so that is the latest on the arrest of the MP. However, when it comes to the collation, because it started raining here, Evans, we had to move. The projector cannot, do the work as intended. And so we are under a shed. We're still within the compound of the city engineers. And with just a few more polling stations to go, we'll know who actually won the Odolodiojo constituency.
Ernest, thank you very much for that hard work in Odolodiojo. And we're going to sleeping until the very final vote is counted, and we get to tell you who is winning in this race to 50% plus one. And Winston, this is how we obviously leave the scene for our colleagues to take over. This is your election headquarters. We're going to be with you until we get the final results counted and checked and called here at your election headquarters. But this is the picture as we have it currently. And you see the map is filling up quite nicely, Winston. Filling up quite nice. A bit of blues, a bit of greens. It all makes up the national picture of who is winning in the final analysis. In the next few hours, this is going to be populated quite, rapidly. And this picture here will begin to change. But with 593,412 votes, Akufadu is leading in percentage terms with 52.7%. John Mahama is there right behind with 535,916 at 47.6%. If you push me, I'll say GUM, G-U-M, is in third place. If I don't call, maybe doing better than a lot of the other females.
Doing better than even Electric Shock.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the CPP.
I mean, I was making a point recently earlier that one of the unique things about this year's election is that we have, for the first time, 3 presidential candidates. If I don't call, Bridget, and we have Nana Akufadu. And so you have to be looking at how they perform. And from the place we've seen, if I don't call, seem to be outperforming Bridget Jogbenuku and Nana Akufadu Ajima Rawlings.
Well, Nana Akufadu, you can pardon her. She's not had a chance to campaign.
But she paid 100,000 cedi to get on the list.
She paid it before the husband passed on. So
okay, well,
that explains it.
Well, that's it for this particular segment of the election headquarters. Of course, a crack team of my colleagues I'll stand by to usher you into this next phase. Critical, because we're going to be seeing more of the results now confirmed, checked, and inputted here. We want to stay for that as we put all together for you for the picture to become even clearer. My name is Evan Spence, and I've been here with
Winston Amon.